Welcome back to LSMN Overtime. I'm Abiara Faine, and that's Lyndon Campbell. Today we've got a finale for LISD playoff basketball and a new segment to show you later.
Let's start off with some basketball.
The Marcus Marauders took on the Allen Eagles in the regional final last Friday. The Eagles came out swinging with the steal right after tip-off, but the Marauders kept their composure, with Javon Robinson sinking this three soon after. Marcus's defense was clean out the gate, letting Marcus's senior Jaden Romnanon sink this three, giving Marcus an early lead. Sophomore Colton Nussmeyer had this great drive into a knockdown for two. Nussmeyer followed it up with a snipe to block a shot from Allen, allowing Marcus to keep their lead going. The Marcus Marauders tried to keep the momentum strong, but Allen's onslaught later in the game was just too much. Allen would knock the Marauders out of the playoffs 62-44.
This unfortunately ends basketball in LISD for the 24-25 season, with many player departures, but it's not all sad news. Many of these players are moving on to go to great college programs and will look to make a splash at the next level. With the season being over, all district team rosters have been announced. Honoring the first team members on the women's district team, 5-6A MVP Macy Pringle, as well as Maya Bujak and Addison Gray represent Flower Mound. Also on the roster are Sydney Jones from Hebron and Sloan Miller from Marcus. One last player for the women's team, Jada Ramanan, with Marcus was awarded Newcomer of the Year. For the men's team, the 12-5A district MVP is Colony's Dakari Spear, with Xavier Green also securing a spot on the first team. The Colony had one last player with Bryce Dixon, who was awarded Defensive MVP. The Marcus's men's all-district teams have yet to be announced due to their deep run in the playoffs, so keep a lookout for that announcement. The Colony will have their big three back for the senior year next year as they look to finally clear the huddle that is that state title. Marcus's look to lead the women's side of things for next year with Jada Ramanan carrying the legacy for the Ramanan family. Even more awards for the Colony men's basketball. Cleve Ryan and his coaching staff were awarded District 12-5A Coaching Staff of the Year. Good luck to everyone in the 25-26 season.
In addition, our Lyndon Campbell was awarded Academic All-District. Congrats to everyone. Now for a brand new segment here on Overtime, where Alex Estrada has some updates on professional sports here in Dallas, Texas. Alex, what's this week's Major League Minute?
This week in Dallas sports, future Hall of Fame guard Zach Martin announced after 11 seasons he is retiring from the NFL. The 9-time All-Pro is the Cowboys' 2024 Walter Payton Man of the Year finalist. The Cowboys also restructured top player contracts in wide receiver CeeDee Lamb and QB Dak Prescott, freeing up $56.6 million in cap space to make room for free agent spending. It's been a rough week for the Mavericks as it was announced that point guard Kyrie Irving will miss the remainder of the season with a torn ACL, while recently traded for center Anthony Davis, who is currently out with his own injury, has been rumored to be shutting it down for the remainder of the season after the injury news. This past Tuesday, the Stars won on a buzzer beater from defenseman Thomas Harley against the New Jersey Devils. The Stars have now won 4 out of the last 5, keeping pace with the first-place Winnipeg Jets, and with the trade deadline tomorrow, the Stars might look to make one more move towards championship contention. For the Rangers, 2 top prospects have shown out in spring training, with shortstop Sebastian Walcott and outfielder Alejandro Osuna putting up big numbers this month. Osuna is hitting .444 in 18 at-bats this spring, and Walcott is 4 for 8 with a home run tomorrow. The Rangers' 2024 Rookie of the Year, Wyatt Langford, will make his spring debut after suffering an oblique injury this past offseason.
Moving over to soccer, Jake Hollis got the chance to talk to the Hebron's men's soccer team.
The Hebron boys soccer team has something that makes coming to practice all worth it.
Probably all the guys.
These are all my dogs, so.
I'd say really just the boys. We're
having fun in the locker room after a game or even during practice as well, but there's also serious times in practice too. So
we're all really tight. We all get along on and off the field, and I'd say it's like a brotherhood. Team dinners off the field, always talking to each other, always hanging out. Good bonding time, and then on the field we get along really well, play with each other really well. So
we bond a lot over team dinners and just hang out, and then when we're on the field we play really well together.
With the field, and when we're on the field we know how to play with each other. We have a really, really good chemistry, the team, so yeah.
The Hebron team looks to change and adapt over time while still maintaining its individual identity.
Do things around here or there. The older I've gotten, I don't know if I'm more wise than when I was a younger man, but at the same time, I do try to let the boys have some individuality and some more personality flair when it comes to some of the decisions that are made here and there and that kind of thing, a little bit less rigid than when I was younger. And so trying to adapt what is best for the program on a yearly basis, those are the only changes that we kind of made. But overall, we pretty much do very similar stuff from year to year.
Throughout the season, they face many challenges, but they push on to the next game.
The losses and then having to recover the next week because you're back at practice either the next day or the next week. So you got to move on and yeah.
Definitely the draws and losses that we've had. Some of them we should have deserved to win, but we just couldn't put in, couldn't finish, couldn't score. So
Losses we've had, some of them were outrageous. We lost 4-0 to Geyer, so we didn't really expect that. Yeah, it's just really losing. We don't want to lose. We don't expect to lose. We always are trying to win. We always expect to win. So it's definitely just losing.
Losing a game, there was a stretch where we weren't doing too great, like a couple losses and a tie. Just trying to get one win on our plate, and then just trying to continue that momentum into the playoffs.
Adversity after losses or ties that I think we should have won. It's hard to keep going, but still have to keep putting the work in and just prepare yourself for the next few games what's to come.
The players have a hungry mindset going into playoffs.
we feel a lot more driven, or a lot more hungry to win this year. So, yeah.
I'd say there's more of a urgency to make playoffs, because we've made playoffs for the last 2 years, but it'd be great to make it 3 years in a row as well. And there's a group of boys in here that have never played high school as well. We have a few freshmen on the team, and so I think their goal is to get to playoffs this year as well, to start off their high school career.
Definitely a different group of boys for sure. I'd say we're definitely really hungry to win. We want it bad, and I think we all get along and play with each other really well.
For LSMN Overtime, I'm Jake Hollis.
Unfortunately, with games being moved around and being canceled last minute due to weather conditions, we don't have any soccer highlights for you, but we still have some of the scores. The Colony fell to Highland Park, losing 9-0. Hebron beat Louisville 2-1, which looked to lock up second place in the district for the Hawks with just 2 games to go. Marcus won the guys' side of the Mound Showdown versus Flower Mound 2-0 and has them sitting in third place in the district. Moving over to the women, the Colony lost to Highland Park 3-0. Louisville fell to Hebron 5-0, and Flower Mound beat Marcus 3-2 in the girls' side of the Mound Showdown, jumping Marcus in the district and rising to second place. Looking ahead at tomorrow's matchups in soccer around the district, Flower Mound's men's team will travel to first place Capel, with the Lady Jags facing them at home in a big matchup of first and second place. Marcus will battle Little Elm, with both teams hanging out in third place in the district. Hebron plays Braswell, Louisville will take on Denton Geyer, and the Colony battles Creekview.
Before last night's game, I had a chance to talk with the Marcus girls soccer team about what makes their team special this season and how they're looking forward to the postseason.
The Lady Marauders have had a phenomenal season so far, and Coach Smith and her players have had many reasons behind their success.
I would just say how our girls love on each other, and they love high school soccer. They have to love where they play, and so that's one thing I can say about our Marcus team is that they love playing high school soccer, they love each other, they work hard for each other.
We just focus on playing good as a team and having a mentality of not just we're here to play a sport, but we're here to be a family and work together.
So we always really back each other, and we're definitely one big family, and it's in times of challenge, we go down against the team, or if we're not playing our best, we're all there to build each other up, and they'll get down on each other, and we just don't really do that here.
Being a family has been a top priority for the Lady Marauders, and their bonds off the field have helped them reach goals on the field.
Our main goal is just to obviously go win the whole thing, and not only that, but just play good soccer, not just getting by one goal or whatever, but just looking good.
At the beginning of the year, we wrote down on a list on a paper, we had 3 goals, and it's to take each game by game, don't go into the future and think ahead. And we always go back to those goals, and we all sign the paper and everything, and it's kind of an oath to the team.
For LSMN Overtime, I'm Aviara Fine.
And now let's head back to our virtual studio with Alex. Alex, who do we have for this week's Spotlight?
This week's Spotlight is Marcus softball player Chloe Petit. Petit pitched an absolute gem on Marcus's senior night versus J.J. Pierce, and in a dominating 12-0 5-inning run rule win, Petit would go on to throw a perfect game. Petit practically didn't need anyone behind her as she struck out 14 of the 15 batters faced in the game. Petit would go on to have another amazing performance just 2 days later, this time throwing a complete game no-hitter with another 14 strikeouts. There's only 3 walks that denied her the opportunity to throw back-to-back perfect games. Marcus would go on to beat Trinity 3-1 in extra innings, with all runs being scored in the extra frame. Chloe is committed to pitch at St. Francis University, and district softball starts this week. Look out for Teat to be back on Overtime very soon. Speaking of stars athletes in and around LSD, this week's grad star is Marcus alum Wesley Jordan. This past week during the Emerald G. Bank College Baseball Series inside Globe Life Field, Jordan crushed a baseball hitting it 445 feet at 113 miles per hour, an insane number inside of just a dome stadium. Wesley in just 12 games already has 2 home runs, both over 400 feet, and a batting average of .383 with 7 RBIs and 2 stolen bases. Be sure to keep your eye on this Baylor Bear as the baseball season continues. If you have a grad star you'd like us to highlight, let us know on X for LSMN Overtime. I'm Alex, back over to the desk.
That's all for this week's episode. Thanks for tuning in, and everyone have a great spring break.
I'm Abiara Faine. That's Lyndon Campbell. See you next time, right here on Overtime.